Welcome back to Dynamon. Befriending a legendary yokai is one of the most exciting experiences in Yokai Watch, but while some are easy to get, others can take you forever. That's why I decided to make a full guide on how to befriend all legendary yokai in Yokai Watch 2 and show the easiest way for every single yokai required. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Yokai Watch content, and depending on how well this video does, there might be guides on the other games in the future as well. Each legendary yokai requires you to befriend 8 yokai beforehand in order to unlock them. They are a really powerful and popular group of yokai sealed behind their respective page in the medallion. In Yokai Watch 2, each of the 8 tribes has one legendary representative, and we'll start this video with Shogunyan.
Summoning Legendary!
Unlike many, our favorite legendary Shogun cat can be befriended really early on in the story. In order to obtain Shogunyan, you need Jibanyan, Baku, Uhu, Kaden, Draggy, Miropo, Dismeralda, and Insomni. Lucky for you, yokai like Jibanyan are auto-befriends. He's befriended after having a massive skill issue against the truck and is the first yokai you befriend in 2. The same can also be said for Baku, since you obtain her medal at Springdale Elementary School after fighting her. And if 2 auto-befriends weren't enough, there's also Miropo, who you get at Mount Middleton and Harrisville. Besides auto-befriends, the next yokai, Woohoo, isn't much more of a challenge, since you can find her in trees at Mount Whitewood, and also Kaden, who can spawn in the same trees but also in Uptown Springdale, is really easy to get. Esmeralda can also be befriended in the old mansion in Blossom Heights, where Draggy can be found in the abandoned tunnel after clearing the Dragon Buffle board. The most difficult one to befriend for Shogunyan is Insomni, since she's an A rank, but she's still manageable to find in trees in Blossom Heights, making Shogunyan one of the easiest legendaries to get.
Summoning Legendary!
Next up is Gilgaros, who in contrast to Shogunyan wants you to befriend 8 S ranks, but trust me, getting him in Yokai Watch 2 is not that deep, these being Cruncher, Frosttail, Goldenyan, Demona, Ontiheart, Concavity, Eterna, and Shadow Venoct. For Gilgaros' minions, the way of getting each of them is the same, obviously being gambling. All have a really low chance to drop from colored coins, which you can find in-game or get from your own medals, but there's a much easier way. In contrast to Yokai Watch 1, 2 made it much easier to get overpowered coins, such as 5-star or special coins, which all have a much higher chance of dropping S ranks, where you just need to scan their respective QR codes. Cruncher can be gotten from red coins, Frosttail drops from yellow mysterious coins, Goldenyan can be fought in orange coins, Demona from pink coins, Ontiheart can be freed from green coins, Concavity from blue shady coins, Everfor spawns out of purple coins, and finally we have Shadow Venoct, who can be gotten from light blue coins. Some can also appear deep inside the infinite tunnel, but the wiki is wrong about the distance you need to reach. With the exception of Goldenyan, all yokai you need for Gilgaros can also be befriended in the infinite tunnel.
Summoning Legendary!
Being very similar to Gilgaros, we now focus on Slurpent, whose 8 seals consist of Devourer, King Mirror, Yubagiko, Tigappa, Unikirin, Isla, Arachnia, and Mare Mother. The only real difference here is basically gambling in the past instead of the present, since all of these got added in Yokai Watch 2, where you can once again use their respective colored coins, or to make it easier, 5-star or special coins. Devourer can drop from red coins, King Mirror drops from yellow coins, Yubagiko appears in orange coins, Tigappa in pink ones, Unikirin can spawn from green coins, Isla in blue coins, Arachnia drops some purple coins, and lastly, Mare Mother appears in light blue coins. Just so you know, 5 of these yokai can also spawn in the infinite tunnel, being Devourer, who's massive, but also King Mirror, Unikirin, Isla, and Mare Mother.
Summoning Legendary!
Next up is Komashura, who is one of the most difficult legendaries to obtain, since in order to get him, you need to befriend Plazion, Lava Lord, Taplappa, Sabaka, Tunatic, Firewig, Frazzle, and Swelteria beforehand. Plazion at least is fairly easy to get, since you can find him in excellent tower areas, under cars, vending machines, or in trash, while Lava Lord can spawn at the exact same locations. Taplappa can be found almost anywhere in Old Springdale, including Foxtrain Road, Well Road, or under cars. In order to fuse his fit with the Raging Plate for Zabaka, you can easily befriend him in the catwalk, where the Raging Plate is obtainable at Waterfind. Tunatic is a rare spawn inside the seaside cave in San Fantastico and can also drop from light blue coins in the past, but he's not the only rare yokai you need to befriend. We are obviously speaking of Swelteria, who rarely spawns inside the infinite tunnel once you have reached 5k yards. Besides the tunnel, he can also drop from both Oni and Lucky Cranky-kai as a rare drop, making him easier to get. The yokai making Komashura extremely difficult to get nowadays, however, are the version exclusives. Here we have Firewig, who can be gotten when evolving Irewig, who spawns at Mount Middleton in Bony Spirits at level 26, as well as Frazzle, who is Sapori's evolution at level 29 for Fleshy Souls. Sapori himself can be found inside the abandoned tunnel west on Mount Whitewood. Since these two are version locked, you need to trade for Komashura, and since servers shut down 2 years ago, you nowadays need either a second console for local trading or online support from Pretendo or level 256 or by emulating.
Summoning Legendary!
Elder Plume, being one of the few healers who can revive, on the other hand, doesn't force you to trade for him, since you need to befriend Nurse Tongus, Hainomi, Tromp, Rith, Papa Windbag, Donshan, Papillon, and Static King. For Nurse Tongus, you need to fuse Tongus, who is an auto-befriend, and Shmoopy, who spawns in trees in downtown Springdale, while Hainomi is the evolution of Nomi, who is an auto-befriend as well, at level 28. Another yokai you need to befriend during the story is Rith, since he's required for a buffer board in the Seaside Cave. For befriending Trump, however, you need to complete the quest Treasure Hunters Part 3, while Donshan wants you to do a quest as well. For him, you need to complete the quest Inspirited Away at Mount Whitewood after speaking to Talisman Man. Upon completing the quest, you can fight Donshan daily during the festival. Papa Windbag can be gotten from literally anywhere. The easiest way is likely Nocturne Hospital, but he also appears inside Grass and Shoppers Row, Divine Paradise or Mystery Way. One of the more challenging yokai is Papillon, who can appear at Mount Middleton Summit in Harrisville. For him, I recommend preparing one Vault Extreme and resetting the summit anytime there's no S-rank symbol. The most challenging yokai for most people is my goat Static King. He has the exact same spawns as Svelteria, being the Infinite Tunnel from 5k yards on, the Oni Cranky-kai and the Lucky Cranky-kai as rare spawns.
Summoning Legendary!
Next up is Spoilerina, which means we are going back to easier legendaries to get. In contrast to the others, she spoils herself already before befriending Palisol, Predictable, Mermaiden, Forkappa, Miradox, Smokmella, Limancha, and Master Nyada, most of which are plot relevant. Quite a lot of the required yokai are the petrified yokai you need to rescue in chapter 6. These include Forkappa, who you get at the river in Harrisville, Palisol, who you befriend at Mount Middleton, Predictable, who's gotten at the top of Excellent Tower, and Mermaiden, who's awarded to you in the Seaside Cave after defeating Captain Crash. Moreover, Miradox, who helps you to travel in time, is befriended automatically at the old Harrisville station. Smokmella is obtained when evolving Smogling at level 27, who can be found in the Rice Paddy Path in Harrisville. For the final two yokai, you need to do Nyada's Tries at Mount Middleton Summit. Demantia can be befriended in Nyada's Tries 2 as a daily battle, while the same counts for Master Nyada himself in Nyada's Tries 3. But when saving before the fight, you can befriend those without waiting multiple days.
Summoning Legendary!
Now, the least popularity yokai Dandoodle gets his first spotlight ever. In order to befriend him, you require Multimud, Badude, Tattlecast, Shmoopy, Rayolite, Casanova, Lionheart, and Skreek, making him extremely time-consuming. Shmoopy can appear in trees in downtown Springdale or at Gara Land, while the other popularity yokai Casanova, who is a fusion between Cupistol, who spawns in trees or the business tower in downtown, and the Lovebuster, which Cupistol himself can drop, is also required for Dandoodle. Rayolite can spawn in grass patches in Harrisville on clear days, while Lionheart is the evolution of Lion at level 28, who appears at Tucked Away Lot in Blossom Heights. Befriending Skreek happens upon completing Mr. Bird's Tragic Tale quest, who after talking to multiple in-game days allows you to enter his room. Skreek then befriends you after defeating him. The yokai making Dandoodle an extreme grind, however, are those I haven't talked about yet. At the beginning of Yokai Watch 2, you obtain a Selector coin, which offers you to get 1 out of 3 yokai to introduce the Cranky-kai. The 2 yokai you don't choose, however, will not be available ever again on your file, and since these yokai can't be traded before completing the story, you need to complete the game 3 times and trade afterwards as well. Since it's totally normal to grow a third head when evolving at level 22, you need Multimud, while Tattlecast, who's the evolution of Tattletale at level 23, and Badude, the evolution of Rough Rev at level 25, are also needed for Dandoodle.
Summoning Legendary!
Lastly, we've got a purple bear Poofessor. In order to obtain him, you need to collect Stepper, Fidgephant, Cheeksqueak, Daze, Venoct, QB, Cranepaw and Snoddle. Steppa appears in the seaside cave in San Fantastico and must be befriended during the storyline. Fidgephant can easily be found in rivers in Harrisville, and Cheeksqueak appears under cars, vending machines and in trash in downtown Springdale. Daze can be found in the Jumbo Slider area, and if you own Psychic Specters, he can also appear inside the Golden Trains. Now it gets more difficult, with Vanoc being exclusive to Bony Spirits. Here you need to complete the Enma and the Serpent quest, which upon completion allows you to fight and befriend him once a day. QB, who's exclusive to Fleshy Souls, has pretty similar circumstances. For him, however, you need to complete a quest called the Old Fox Shrine, and since both belong to opposite versions, you need to trade for a legendary once again. When crossing the road incorrectly often enough, Snoddle will appear and is befriendable. And the final yokai required for Poofessor is Cranepaw, whose main way of befriending are yokai spots. He rarely appears in mailboxes in downtown Springdale or Excellent Tower, and in order to reset those, you need to check all locations out, speak to the found yokai and sleep many times afterwards. In my opinion though, getting Cranepaw from a green coin or from the Oni Crankakai when collecting lots of Oni orbs might even be easier. Now that you know the easiest way for befriending all legendaries in Yokai Watch 2, tell me which ones you already own as well as your favorites and the most difficult ones to befriend. I hope this guide helps you, and if this video does as well as the previous legendary shorts, there might even be guides for the other games as well, so tell me if you would like to see them. Also like and subscribe for my Yokai Watch content, and also check out my 50 facts video, since this one is amazing, just like the background and the Steady King model made by Timmy Let's Play and Mugen.